Hello, Lowell families. This is Ms. Franzoni. I wanted to take some time to give you an update about reopening our school. We are working hard to be ready to safely reopen when the decision is made to do so. The following slides will help you understand our best thinking at this time. Dr. Jenkins, our superintendent, decided that all students would remain virtual as we started third quarter. There has not yet been a date set for when we will reopen, but we are getting our building, our classrooms, and our systems ready so that we can safely greet Lowell Lions when the time comes. The website linked here has all the information related to reopening from MMSD, including the metrics the district is using to guide their decision. When the decision is made to reopen, MMSD plans to start with our kindergartners. 2 weeks later, first and second graders would come back. 2 weeks after that, our 4K students would return. Plans for students in 3rd through 12th grades will be determined at a later date. Families will have the choice to remain virtual or to return to in-person instruction 4 days per week. When we reopen, the current MMSD plan is that our asynchronous day will move to Mondays instead of Wednesdays to allow for deep cleaning. Students will then have live instruction, either in person or virtually, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Our 4K students will come to school for full days, either Tuesday and Wednesday or Thursday and Friday. Our school days will go back to what we had last year, meaning that our doors will open at 7:50 and students will end their day at 2:47. Students will be assigned to a classroom cohort. We will try to keep students with their current teacher, but it is possible that some classroom changes might happen. We will be sure to be in communication with families about this as we know more. Students will stay with their classmates for the whole day, and classroom groups or cohorts will not mix. In addition, we will be working to limit the number of adults that move between cohorts. MMSD has decided that teachers will engage in what is called concurrent instruction. This means that they will be teaching students in the classroom and students learning virtually at the same time. Here at Lowell, we may have some flexibility on what this looks like, and it will be dependent on a couple of things, including how many students come for in-person instruction, as well as staffing. This is one of our kindergarten classrooms. You can see that markers indicate 6 feet between students. In addition, all students face the same direction, which is required per our safety guidance. You can see that many of our materials have been removed to ease in cleaning and open up space for social distancing. We do look forward to filling these classrooms with smiling students. This is another classroom picture. This one is from one of our first grade classrooms. I know that our teachers will add their own touches to classrooms as reopening plans are finalized, though I also know that our classrooms will look very different than they have in years past. This is not a classroom at Lowell, but it is an example of what we're planning for our 4K students. We are hoping they can use yoga mats to indicate their space and small chairs and tables on the floor. We have also recently applied for a grant requesting yoga mats and other materials to support outdoor education for all of our Lowell Lions. These yoga mats could be used inside as well for students to spread out and stretch out during their day. For Lowell Lions, not much about their daily schedule will change. Morning meetings will begin at 8:30. Prior to that, in-person students will be getting breakfast, learning routines, and settling in. Both sets of students will move between whole group instruction, small group instruction, and independent work. Lunch and recess times may have to change from what they are now. Students will visit the bathroom as a class and will also have the opportunity to use the bathroom individually as needed. More information about a schedule will come later. Many families are wondering if students will simply be on their computers all day. Students will, in fact, still be using their technology to access a lot of their learning. However, during whole group instruction, like morning meeting, literacy lessons, and math lessons, in-person students will be watching the teacher in the classroom, while virtual students will be watching on their Chromebooks. Small groups may take place in person, and also some in-person students may join virtual small groups just like they do now. Independent work will be a mix of paper and pencil tasks, reading, and online assignments. Mr. Burkle, Ms. James, and Ms. Martinson will be teaching virtually, though in-person students may watch these lessons together on the big screen. Just like you have been doing with your students at home, we will have to be very intentional about movement breaks for our Lowell Lions, and our staff is busy making plans on how we can do so safely. All staff and students will need to wear masks, except during designated eating times. There may be some students who are unable to wear a mask due to a disability, and individualized plans will be made with their team. We have added hand sanitizer stations around the school and will be methodical in teaching students and reminding students about when and how to clean their hands. Our custodial staff will be sanitizing high-touch areas during the day, and all classrooms will have disinfectant spray to wipe down tables and desks as needed. As you saw on the previous slides, students will be seated 6 feet apart. Use of masks will be pivotal, since we know that learning the routine of social distancing will take some time. Students will go outside for recess every day, weather permitting. Classroom cohorts will stay together, and groups will not mix on the playground. Groups will rotate between recess zones, including our blacktop area, the playground equipment, and our front yard. During the regular school year, our cafeteria is a busy, crowded place. When we reopen this year, all meals will be eaten in the classroom. During these designated eating times, students will remove their masks. Because of this, we will have a clear schedule for when meals and snacks are to be eaten. Students will have water bottles at their desks that can be filled at our bottle filler station. They will not be using the water fountains. We know that the transition back to school will be an adjustment for our Lowell Lions. Our staff will be doing everything we can to prioritize the social and emotional development of our students, even though we know the school day will look much different than it has in years past. We always teach and practice school routines with students, and this year will be no different. We will be clear and consistent in teaching students about their day, how to line up, how to use the bathrooms, rules for the playground, and other school routines. And we will continue to support our students and families, whether they are learning at school or at home, as we navigate this time together. Our messages for students will continue to be that we want them to be safe, that they are part of a community, and that they are loved. One significant change for the grown-ups will be our arrival and dismissal practices. Adults who do not work at Lowell, including parents, will not be allowed in the building. Additionally, we plan to use several different doors in order to maintain social distancing. We have a preliminary plan in place for a drop-off lane on Center Avenue. If this plan is adopted, adults would stay in their cars and school staff would greet students and direct them to the appropriate door, where additional staff would be waiting. Our students arriving on buses would enter through the front door on Maple Avenue, and we would have directions for families who are walking as well. At dismissal time, staff will walk students to the proper buses. If a child is being picked up, families will meet their student's teacher at a designated spot on the blacktop. More details about arrival and dismissal will be shared as we get closer to reopening. As I said earlier in this presentation, we do not know when or if Dr. Jenkins will make a decision to reopen. At some point, MMSD will be sending out a survey asking you for your decision. However, it would help us in our planning at Lowell to know more about what you are leaning toward. In the next day or so, you will receive a short survey asking for your best guess at this time. This is nothing definitive, but it will help us know how to best plan for the return of some of our Lowell Lions. I personally thank you in advance for taking the time to complete this short survey and look for it in your email in the coming days. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me with any questions at all. When a decision is made to reopen, more details will be shared, and we will also invite families to live Zoom meetings to discuss any questions. I fully recognize how challenging all of this uncertainty is, and I thank you for the grace and patience you've had with all of us this year. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.